All right, testing, testing. Can you hear my voice? If you can hear my voice, let me know in the chat box, in the red chat tango box below. Type something like, "Hey, I can hear." Can you hear? Right, that's awesome. All right, I'm experiencing a bit of lag, so whatever I'm saying right now is probably transmitted to you about 30 seconds later. Okay, please don't mind this crazy screen. For those who are just coming in, introduce yourself in the red chat tango box below. So I know I'm not some crazy person talking to myself in front of the computer. Okay? Tell me your level also, P5 or P6, and please, no spamming. Great, so all can hear. Let's wait a few minutes more. For the rest that just came in, introduce yourself in the red chat tango box below. Tell us what's your name, what's your level. Are you P6 or P5? Yes, Derek Peng. The whole world knows you're Derek Peng now. So how's everybody? Are you excited for PSLE tomorrow? Hi Isaac. Hi Michael. Hi Neela. Hi Kritika. Derek, nobody wants to smell your fart, so thank God we are online. Hi Sonia. Hi Jared. Hi Reese. Hi Kashini. Hi C Mommy. I think C Mommy is a parent. Let's wait a few more minutes. Yeah, Kashini, I see you. So how are you all feeling for your exams tomorrow? Who's nervous? Who's excited? Comment below. Hi Iram. Hi Megan. Hey Megan, I thought you're Megan, are you in my class? Hi Jody. The webinar will last for about 30 to 40 minutes. I got to end early. If not, the parents will complain why my kids sleep so late. Hi Danish. Hi, Joel, the only P4. Hi, Arastu. Hi, Cherry. All right, nothing to feel nervous about. I can assure you in maybe about 2 years' time, you will forget about your PSLE already. So all you need to do tomorrow is just relax and do your best. Stay alert. If you feel sleepy, pinch your cheeks, slap your face, drink some water, whatever, stand up and go to the toilet and come back and check your work again. You do not want to be making any more careless mistakes from tomorrow onwards. All right, another P4. Okay, so welcome to to today's webinar. If there are any cock-ups or screw-ups, please forgive me. This is my first time holding a live webinar. Normally, I teach a class of about 8 to 12 students at my center. But today, I see about 200 plus students signing up. And I think there are still more students signing up. So today, we will be going through some last-minute tips and reminders. Because I know you students, you got a lot of things on your mind. So whatever I taught you on Saturday, you probably forget by Tuesday already. So to refresh your memory, I'm having one last refresher. Some of you who are in my class, you might have probably seen some of these questions before or went through this lesson before, but just take it as a reminder. Do not make any careless mistakes tomorrow. You do not want to make any careless mistakes tomorrow, okay? For those who do not know who I am, I'm Jerry Lee. I'm an English tutor at IntelliCat Tuition School. I'm also a director at TutorNots. So if you type tutornots.com, you will get to navigate through the pages. You will see a video. Some of our students are acting in that video. So if you want to find me online, you can email me, or the best way is to just find me on tutornots.com, especially for those students who stay too far. All right, so before we start, if you need to adjust your video quality settings, you just move your mouse cursor over the YouTube screen. You see this gear icon over here? You click on it and then you adjust. You click on this and then after that you click on quality. And then you adjust to a higher quality. But after that, you probably have to refresh your screen. So if you can see this, if you can see the screen just fine now, I suggest you leave it alone. If you can't stream properly, if you find this video too laggy, don't worry, I'll email you the recorded video at this link later on. I'll fill in the link later, so don't worry, I'll just email all of you later on so you can watch the video again. I will remove the video after maybe 1 week. If you're having streaming problems, I suggest you get closer to your router. You know, if you are in the room looking at your iPad and you can't stream properly, maybe you should go out to the living room, sit right next to your router. If it still doesn't work, then you got to call StarHub or Singtel or M1 to complain already. All right, so we are about to start soon. If you haven't introduced yourself, just go ahead and introduce yourself in the chat Tango box. Tell us your name, tell us your level. Just don't spam. So some rules for this online lesson. You're not allowed to spam in the chat box. It's very irritating. If you do that, I will fine you. I will hunt you down, and then I'll make you sign up at my tuition center. And then every weekend you got to see my face, and every weekend you'll be doing my homework. Sounds fun, right? Any questions, just type it into the box. I will try to answer all questions at the end of the lesson. There may be you may experience some lag. So whatever questions you type, I'll probably only see it 1 or 2 minutes later, or maybe 30 seconds later, depending on the connection. All right, and because this is an online lesson, I trust that you won't surf Facebook or Instagram or play Minecraft or Clash of the Clans while I'm teaching. All right, it's for your own good. For those students still asking when can I start in the chat box, I've already started. You got to refresh your screen. Danish, you got to refresh your screen, Danish. Can someone type in the chat box, tell those people who are asking when can we start to refresh the screen? Derek, help me type, thanks. All right, objectives of this lesson. This is just going to be a short lesson. We're going to do some revision, no more silly mistakes for tomorrow, and you're all just here to get nagged by me. Yeah, that's right. Your parents sign you up so that you can get nagged by me. But it will be a very productive nagging session, I assure you. Okay, so you're tired of waiting. Let's start. So for the English paper, what I want to go through today is actually the grammar section. And for grammar, there are actually 2 things to take note of. The 2 main things you need to take note of is tenses and subject-verb agreement, which is basically just singular or plural. Do you use singular or plural verbs? Or is the noun countable or uncountable? For tenses, you need to take into account the time frame of the event taking place. And to really take note of these 2 items when you're doing your grammar section, I need you to look out for the keywords. All right, so in English, right, every sentence you got to look out for the keywords. Keywords like, keywords like later, tonight, last night, yesterday, next week, all these signify a certain time frame. So keywords like later and tonight signify that the event has not taken place yet. Keywords like last night or yesterday signify that the event had already happened. So you just need to fill in the blank with the appropriate word with the appropriate tense. And the next thing, of course, you need to take note of is whether do you use singular or plural. Let's look at some examples. So you may probably see a neither nor question. This question is very common. I'm sure you have probably seen it in your prelims like about 100 times. Personally, I've seen it probably 1,000 over times. All right, so neither Sally nor her sister dash going to the movie later. In this case, can you find the keywords? We see the keyword over here, later, which indicates what? Which indicates the movie, they have not went to watch the movie. They have not gone to watch a movie. This event has not taken place yet. So you probably got to use future tense or present tense. The next thing to take note of for neither nor questions, you always want to take note of the second subject. In this case, the second subject is Sally's sister. Okay? You do not want to care about Sally. Sally is considered the first subject. You want to care about the second subject for neither nor questions. So in this case, her sister is singular. We have to use the singular word. So just type your answer in the chat tango box again. Answer 2, yes, smart boy. Okay, so remember for neither nor questions, we only want to care about the second subject. We do not want to care about the first subject. We do not want to care about the first and the second subject. We only want to care about the second subject. And not only that, we want to look out for keywords that indicate the time frame of the event. If this word is changed to yesterday, your answer will probably be number 3. Okay, so take note of the keywords. Moving on, another common question that always come out is questions like this. You see a comma here, as well as they'll leave a blank, and then another comma here. Take note of these 2 commas. Whenever you spot this pattern, everything in the middle is considered to be extra information. So Sally, as well as her sisters, dash, going to the movie later. All right, so now we want to decide singular or plural, past tense or present tense or future tense. Again, the word later tells you that the event has not taken place yet. Sally and her sisters have not watched this movie. So we have to omit out options 3 and 4. So since, as well as her sisters, is considered extra info, we are only left with Sally. Okay, so you only need to care about Sally. So the answer should be, again, write the answer in the chat tango box below. Sally, as well as her sisters, is going to the movie later. Okay, some of you all may find this very simple, but that's when careless mistakes appear. That's how careless mistakes form. When you feel overconfident, when you do too fast, when you think you know the answer, that's when careless mistakes happen. All right, so if you already know this, just bear with me. And when you're doing these questions tomorrow, just pretend I'm sitting beside you, nagging into your ear. All right, the next thing that students always forget when they come to do grammar questions is usage of past perfect tense, present or past perfect tense, and the past participle word. In my class, I always tell my students, remember every word there's a PP, and then they'll just laugh for 1 hour. They'll laugh like, ha, 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 PP. You know, then after that, 2 weeks later, I come and ask them, what is past participle? They only can remember PP as a PP in the toilet bowl. Okay, so you can choose to laugh at this past participle, or you can choose to learn from it. All right, so don't just laugh at these kind of silly things. So this is another of those tricky questions that you may encounter. Hopefully it doesn't come out, because even after teaching this, I bet some students, they'll go to school the next day and they'll still make the same mistakes. All right, so the sentence goes like this. After Sally reached home, she realized that her brother dashed all her cookies. So they will look at the keyword reach, and then students will straight away think, hey, this is past tense. I'm just going to put option 1. Is it correct? No, it's not correct. Even though this is past tense, your answer is still not number 1. Let me explain to you why. In this sentence, there are 2 events taking place. Sally reached home, and her brother, Mr. Cookie Monster over here, ate all her cookies. So when there are 2 events taking place in the sentence, and both events happen in the past, the event that happened earlier, we have to use past perfect tense. Not present, but past perfect tense. This is past perfect tense. Option 4 is past perfect tense, had eaten. Option 3 is present perfect tense because of the word has. All right. Past perfect tense is made up of had plus PP, past participle. Remember, we don't have just For the word eat, let me put in a text box. Hang on. Insert text box. All right, never mind. I'm just going to write it here. For the word eat, there are three formations. There are three types of word. Eat is present tense, eat is past tense, and then again there's PP, past participle, eaten. Please don't forget the existence of this word. A lot of students always forget about this word. All right. So if I have a word like sing, past tense there is a sang. What's the past participle for this? Type it in the box below. All right. Sung. Okay. When do we use PP? We use PP whenever there's has or had in front. We also use it in passive speech, which I shall not go into here because it's going to take probably 1 hour to explain passive speech for you. So sorry, too late. All right, so in this case, two events. Sally reached home and her brother, Mr. Cookie Monster, ate all her cookies. Which event happened first? This event, her brother eating all the cookies, that's the event that happened first. So in this case, we use had eaten. Okay? When there are two events happening in the past, the event that happened earlier, we got to use past perfect tense. All right? Get that into your head. Okay, the next one, my brother and me or my brother and I. I hope by now the school has already acquainted you with this question. This question appears so many times. All right? So my brother and I are going to the movies, or my brother and me are going to the movies. If you can give me option 3 and 4, just don't give me option 3 and 4. All right, so it's either 1 or 2. The simplest way to decide whether is it me or I is to break the sentence up. Imagine I remove the word and. All right. Imagine I remove this word and. My brother is going to the movies. Hang on, let me put my mic down. Let me just type it out. Right, you see, if I take away the and, I break up the sentence like that. My brother is going to the movies. And I am going to the movies. There's no way, there's no universe I'm going to write this. All right, if you look at the third option, me am going to the movies. Obviously, this is wrong. So I'm just going to delete it. So in this case, when we are joining two sentences together, we use an and. And it goes my brother and I. It will never be my brother and me. Then a lot of students will ask, but teacher, is there some cases where I have to use my brother and me? Yes, there may be some cases where you have to use my brother and me. Let me give you an example over here. Again, let me put my mic down. I need to type. All right, you look at this sentence here. My mother scolded my brother and me, or my mother scolded my brother and I. In this case, the answer is me. Again, we break up the sentence. My mother scolded my brother. My mother scolded me. Okay? So I had a student online, she was asking me, oh, if the blank is, if the blank appears at the back of the sentence, then it's me. If the blank appears in front, then it's I. That is a very dangerous way to generalize this question because sometimes the blank can appear in the middle. All right, I don't know how you define in the front or at the back. All right, to me, it looks like the blank is in the middle. The best way is to just break up this sentence and remember that and is just a connector that's joining two sentences together. So just break up the sentence into their individual sentences. All right, moving on. Okay, this one is slightly harder to explain. There isn't really a technical term. So basically just remember this as a 3-word combo, okay? Sensory verb plus object plus bare infinitive. If bare infinitive sounds too chim for you, substitute it with this word. Just like how your computer has default settings, the bare infinitive is basically the default word. The default word is plural and present tense. Plural and present tense, not singular. So when students come across this question, the common mistake they will make is this. They will say, hey, keyword is saw. They'll underline, right? They'll highlight it and say, the keyword is saw. So it's the next keyword is yesterday. So it happened in the past. So I have to put crossed. I saw Sally crossed the road yesterday. Again, this is wrong. All right. Over here, we need to follow this 3-word combo. Saw is a sensory verb. All right. In case you don't know what's a sensory verb, basically sensory verb, as you see in this picture over here, are words related to sight, hearing, taste, touch, smell. They include words like watch, hear, listen, feel, smell, notice, observe. I may have missed out some words. There are many words related to senses. So please take note of that. So sensory verbs plus the object. Sensory verb saw plus the object Sally. All right, Sally is the object. And then over here, you need to put the bare infinitive, which is the default word, which is plural and present tense. And in this case, it's cross. A lot of students, they will tell me, oh, for these questions, for this kind of question, I will just, choose the answer that sounds right. Okay, you may be lucky that what sounds right is really correct, but it would help if you know a bit of the technicalities of grammar. And in this case, the 3-word combo, sensory verb, saw, plus object, plus default word. Let's say if the option is this. The option 1 is this. I saw Sally crossing the road yesterday. Is that correct? If I choose option 1, yes, it is still correct. Okay? So your answer could be cross or crossing. Okay, so please take note of that. If the examiners are feeling a bit nasty, they will use words that are not sensory verbs. For example, he made the baby cry. Okay, there are some verbs that also have this rule. Sadly, there's no sort of a category for these words. All right. So made is one of the example. Don't worry, it won't be very common. Okay, moving on. The next area where you can save a lot of marks is the synthesis and transformation section. All right. The synthesis and transformation section is one where you can really save a lot of marks because when you get, a careless mistake, that's 2 marks gone. Okay. This section is about 10 marks. And the scary thing is the sad thing is students always get the easiest questions wrong, especially all those students who are getting like what 75 and above or 80 and above. I need you all to listen up even more closely here because I keep seeing my A students making all the silly mistakes that I'm going to go through in this section. All right. All right. The first, so what I need you all to do now is spot the silly mistakes. The moment you spot the mistake, type it out in the chat tango box. Okay, so I'm not like a lonely old man talking to myself in front of the computer. At least I know I'm sane. There are kids talking back to me. Okay, so if you know the answer, don't be shy. Just type it out in the chat tango box. All right, I see some answers popping out already. Okay, before I explain the mistake, let me try to go into the mind of a student. When a student sees this question, what happens is they will write this. Tom likes to cycle, Jane likes to cycle. The synthesis and transformation keyword will be both. They'll put the word both and then there will be a blank for you to fill up. So when they see it, they get so excited. They say, so easy. I just need to use the next word and. So what happens? They will just type both Tom and Jane likes to cycle without thinking about the subject-verb agreement. All right? This mistake I've seen too many times and I've seen my best students making this mistake. So tomorrow, please do not make this mistake. The simpler the question, the more mistakes I see my A students make. All right, and these mistakes are really, really very silly. All right, so this word is wrong. I've seen some of you all typing the answer already. Good job. It should be like. All right, so don't copy and paste blindly. Don't just see, hey, easy question. Let's finish this fast. All right. Don't be blur tomorrow. Huh? The next one, also another simple question, and that's when the mistakes come in. Tom did not know that there were lessons today. Jane did not know that there were lessons today. And then the keyword will be neither nor. So when they look at this, they will remember, oh yeah, teacher said neither nor. Second subject. Yeah, Mr. Jerry last night, I was watching his online webinar. He says, neither nor, we only want to care about second subject, Jane. All right, so they'll just focus on this word Jane, and then they'll straight away write, okay, Jane is a singular, so I'm going to write singular over here. All right, knows. Neither Tom nor Jane knows that there were lessons today. Okay, what's the mistake here? You forgot to see the keyword here. Remember what I said earlier? For English, you need to take note of tenses and subject, verb, and agreement. All right, let me go back to an earlier slide. You need to take note of tenses, and you need to take note of whether is it singular or plural. Once you can get these two areas right for grammar, you would probably be scoring high marks already. Okay, so even synthesis and transformation, these two areas, these two portions are very, very crucial. All right, so back to the question. So great, you know that it is singular. However, this is wrong. The word did indicates past tense. So we should change this word to knew. Okay, and then it's correct. Neither Tom nor Jane knew that there were lessons today. Okay, so tomorrow, if this question comes out, please take note. All right, take note of this. If there's no did, if they use the word does, Tom does not know, Jane does not know, then it's present tense. All right, so take note of the tenses also. Okay, next one. Okay, the next one is quite a headache to teach. Schools can spend months going through this and students still keep getting it wrong. I personally have the same experience with some of my students as well. So this is the last chance. This is the last time I'm telling you all this. All right, for these sort of questions, you will definitely get this kind of question in your synthesis and transformation. This is called these are the indirect speech questions. All right, so this is direct speech, and your job is to change it to indirect speech. Tom's mother asked Tom, "Where were you last night?" So the student, without thinking, they'll just straight away write, Tom's mother asked him, "Where was he the previous night?" They'll look at last night and then they'll think, "Oh yeah, the teacher taught me before, last night changed to previous night. Last night changed to previous night." And then they will write previous night here, and then they will think, haha, I'm so smart. Wrong. Where was he the previous night? This part is wrong. Okay, this part is wrong. So don't just focus on words like last night. You have to focus on a lot of things too. All right, this is a very wordy slide, but please bear with me. If there's past tense in the direct speech, in this case, the past tense word is what? Were. Past tense must be changed to past perfect tense. Remember, past perfect tense is had plus PP, past participle. Okay, so this is why PP is so important, and you should not just laugh whenever I say PP. Okay, and in this case, were will change to had been. All right. The next thing you need to take note of, other than past tense changing to past perfect tense, is when the direct speech is asking a question. You see the question mark here? Where were you last night? When the direct speech is asking a question, you got to be extra careful. You want to make sure that when you convert it into indirect speech, this is indirect speech, it must end with a full stop. Not only do you just put the full stop there, when you read it out, it must sound like a full stop. You cannot phrase it in a question mark kind of sentence. All right, to explain, this is what students will do. So if they get the first point right, they change past tense to past perfect tense, they'll write like that. Tom's mother asked him where had he been the previous night. Read this out loud to yourself right now. Tom's mother asked him where had he been the previous night. This is still a question mark sentence. You're still asking a question. Where had he been? Where had you been? Isn't that a question mark sentence? Let me just highlight this. Change it to where he had been. You see the difference here? Instead of where had he been, you change it to where he had been. Tom's mother asked him where he had been the previous night. Now the tone is correct. All right, it sounds like a full stop. So for synthesis and transformation, remember these two things. If there's past tense in the direct speech, it must be changed into past perfect tense. And past perfect tense means had plus the past participle. All right, if you want to remember it as PP, go ahead, remember it as PP. Students tend to remember funny things better, so if it's funny to you, remember it that way. And the next thing, when the direct speech is asking a question, make sure you end it with a full stop tone. Not where had he been, where he had been. So the next question students usually ask me is, what if in the direct speech it is present tense? What if direct speech we use present tense? So if direct speech is present tense, we want to change it to past tense. Hope I did not confuse you. Let me just type it out here. Okay, got it? All right, some students are asking me to teach faster. You can actually go and sleep, and if it's too easy for you, you can just go and sleep. All right, nobody is forcing you to watch. This is an online lesson. Learn at your own pace. If it's too easy for you, turn off the comm, go and sleep. All right, for those that are staying on, the next one, Charlie ate his dinner. He went back to do his homework. Having ate his dinner, Charlie went back to do his homework. Again, what's the mistake here? Yes, you're right. This has to be changed to past participle. Right? You have to change it to eaten. Having eaten his dinner, Charlie went back to do his homework. So again, please remember past participle. All right, bear with me. One last question before some general tips. Tom put in a lot of effort. He still did not win the race. Okay, so the keyword here would be despite. So the moment they see this, they will use despite putting in a lot of effort, he did not win the race. He still did not win the race. What's the mistake here? All right. They forget that the pronoun has to be Tom. Despite putting in a lot of effort, Tom still did not win the race. If you use the pronoun he, we are not going to be sure who is he. All right, you have to be specific, Tom. Okay, so this is please take note of this. I see this mistake too many times. All right, more nagging. Those who want to sleep, go and sleep. Okay, nobody is forcing you to watch. All right, for the other sections, what to take note of. For graphic stimulus, very simple. Make sure you consider all the options. Okay, all the options, meaning option 1, 2, 3, and 4. You need to consider all options. Don't just say, hey, option 2 is the answer. You put option 2 and then you just move on. A lot of careless mistakes are made when students do not consider options 1, 2, 3, or 4. And also, make sure you read all the text on the graphic stimulus. So when you look at the picture, all the tiny words in the tiny corners, please read it. Vocabulary and grammar close, comprehension close, good luck. All right. Seriously, good luck to you. The one I need about what? 5, 6, maybe 10 lessons to go through that with you. Comprehension, MCQ, same thing. Consider all options as well. Okay, for comprehension, open-ended, lots of careless mistakes are made here. Always refer back to the passage to check your answers. The easier the question, the more you should refer back to double check. This applies to maybe the first 4 questions. The first 4 questions are usually the easier ones. All right. So whenever you come across the easy questions, you still have to refer back to the passage to check your answer. So your process should be read the question, flip back, don't be lazy, flip back, read the passage, then go back and answer again. Again, the same 2 rules apply. Your tenses and your subject-verb agreement. Everybody keep forgetting about the tenses. All right. And then do not copy or paste or leave blindly. All right. We encourage you not to copy and paste, but if you really cannot rephrase it into your own way, do not just copy one whole chunk and paste it there. Remove the parts of the passage which are not important. Okay, so that's it. I think I've taken up too much time. You all need to sleep. So for those who are P5 and you're taking PSLE 2016 next year, we hope you can join us. To join us, simply ask your parents to click the yellow button you see in the screen below. All right, and then you can get more information on who are the teachers, what's the schedule, what are the fees. All right, so this is a picture of my P6 class this year. If you stay too far and you still want us to teach you, you can just go to this website, www.tutornuts.com, and we will teach you online. It will be something like what you're experiencing today, but 1,000 times better. There will be no lag at all. And the response is instantaneous. There will be a virtual classroom where we can draw, we can write equations, we can upload worksheets, and you can just use the virtual classroom very easily. It's really foolproof. All right. With that, I will end today's lesson. So take care and good luck. Faster go brush your teeth and hop into bed and go and sleep. Okay, for those who missed out this lesson, don't worry. I will send all of you an email so you can watch this lesson in the next few days if you want to. All right. So signing off. I hope you all had fun here. I am Jerry, and you can contact me at IntelliCat Tuition School's website. You can also find me at tutornotes.com. All right. That's it. Good luck for tomorrow. Bye bye.